Hi, students. Dr. Cohen here. First of all, I want to say I am so sorry that the introductory discussion that I had set up had the wrong closing time. It was supposed to close at 11 p.m. yesterday, and I had messed up and it said something like 3:30. So I opened it up so that it's still available until 11 p.m. tonight so that folks have some extra time to submit that. But mostly what I want to go over today was Module 1 and just kind of a little bit about what is going to be required for Module 1. So I wanted to share my screen and show you all what's on Folio for Module 1. Here you have to let you know that I have the first 3 chapters that are up here as PDFs. So you'll see you'll need to order the book, but you don't need to order the book for this module because the first 3 chapters are here. So if you order it and it's going to take a while, it's fine. You've got these readings. So the way that it works is you have reading 1, and there's the PowerPoint that the publishers provide for that, and then a quiz on the reading. And then the next thing, and let me just see if I have a description of the quizzes. Should be in your syllabus. So the quizzes, each quiz is just 5 points. You have 15 minutes to take it. And you could take the quiz up to 3 times and the highest score will count. I will tell you it's a fairly large question set. So each time that you take the quiz, you'll be getting different questions. But you're welcome to take it 3 times. And then if the second time you take it was when you got the highest score, then it'll just automatically use that second quiz. So it's not like if you take it again and you get a lower score, it's problematic. So go ahead and take it unless you get all the questions right, and then you're done. Okay, so we have that. So you'll do the reading for the reading of chapter 1, and then you'll take the quiz. And then we have a journal. And by the way, this is the sequencing for all of the learning modules. And we have, I believe there's 5 for this class. 5 modules. Okay. So then you have a journal. Here are the journal instructions that you have. And each journal has a different requirement. Here, what I want you to know, to write about is what are your expectations, hopes, and fears for the class. I would ask that you copy these questions and paste them into a Word document, and then take what are your expectations, and then provide me with an answer to that, and then what are your hopes, and then provide me with an answer for that. If you give me one giant paragraph with your answer to all 3, I might not be able to find where your answers are to the 3 questions. So put each question and then your response, and then the next question and then your response. Okay. The journal requires 500 words. So my suggestion is that you type this out into a Word document so that if you make any spelling errors, they're underlined in red. If you make any grammatical errors, they're underlined in blue. You can make those changes before you upload it. And also in Microsoft Word, which I'm sure that Macs also have a similar kind of thing, it gives you a word count. So you know when you're up to that 500 word minimum. And then here are, for the journals, here is the grading rubric, and it's the same for each of your journals. So the first part is fully expresses your ideas on the topic. You get 10 points for that. All the questions are answered, 10 points for that. Mechanics, organizations, spelling, and grammar. So one organizational thing is, did you put the question and then the answer, or did you put it all in one paragraph? Okay, and then the other thing is the word limit. So that is the rubric for all of the journals. Okay, so like I said, you do the journal, and then the next thing is chapter 2. Same thing. You read chapter 2 here again. At least for module 1, you'll have a PDF. In the future, modules, you're going to have the book. So make sure you order that. And then every module has an assignment. So if you look here, it says you're going to do a watch and write, and I'll show you in just a minute that there's a link to the film. But you're going to watch the film called Living with Dying, which is part of the Moyer series. And then you're going to answer these questions. While my suggestion is to go ahead and print this out, or have it open in a Word document as you're watching the film, because the questions are sequential. So the first one, for instance, talks about Betsy Martinez, who is a woman with Lou Gehrig's disease. So there's a scene about her and her life. And so you can, pause the film after you watch that little section, type your answer. It also says, if you look here, each of these questions is worth 6 points and a minimum of 75 words. So here again, you're going to pay attention to word count for these first questions, and they follow, like I said, in sequential order. Then when you get to the end of the film, after watching and listening to the poem by Thomas Lynch, more generally, so this one is worth 12 points, this question 8, and it is generally, how did this film add to your understanding of death and dying? And here, instead of the 75 points with the first 7 questions, this one's requires 150 points. And as with all of your assignments, mechanics, accounts, here you see the rubric. Each of the questions worth 6 points, except for the last one, which is worth 12, and then organization, spelling, grammar is worth 6. Follow the course schedule when it comes to the due dates for these things. So let's go back. So you see we're up to here, assignments. Here is the link to Living with Dying. So you'll click on that and the film will pop up and you can watch it. How easy is that? Easy peasy. All right, let's see. And then you have chapter 3 and the quiz. And here's your discussion instructions. And remember that your initial discussion post is due the day before the response post. So if you didn't use the course schedule and you use the discussion where that belongs, it has a deadline, but that deadline is for your response post. And it's 24 hours after the initial discussion is due. So make sure that you are putting your initial discussion in place based on the course schedule. In this case, your discussion post is due the 22nd and your response is due on the 23rd. So for this discussion, you're going to fill out the inventory 2 on pages 8 and 9 in the textbook. It's several questions. Some of the questions are open-ended. Some of them are like a scale. So the first thing to do is to fill out the inventory. And then you're going to select any 3 questions. So it doesn't have to be the open-ended ones. It can be just the ones that have a multiple choice selection or a scale. Select 3, and then you're going to write about what your answer was, and then why you chose the response that you did. So the discussion includes both. And the reason I'm having you do this, by the way, is often people can select 2 different boxes, but some of their underlying reasons why they feel the way they do about that particular issue can overlap. And it shows you that just because somebody might state initially a different opinion, when you drill down a little bit, what you find is that you actually have a lot more in common with that person than you think. So your response is to look through what other people have posted in your group and then comment on someone who had answers that were different from your own. There is a grading rubric for all of the discussions. I'm going to show you that. Your initial post, all the questions or prompts are responded to: mechanics, organization, and spelling, count, grammar. There's a minimum word count, and then the response. And I'll just remind you one last time that your initial discussion post is due before the due date. And I put that in there in red so that everyone could remember. Please know that you are welcome to email me with any questions or comments. People have, it's been helpful. I made an error and with the due date for your introductory discussion, and I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gotten an email from a student. So please do email me, and if you want to meet with me, just offer me up some days and times, and we can either talk on the phone or set up a Zoom call. Hopefully your first module will go well. The first assignment is the quiz on chapter 1, and that is due on May 20th. As I said, these things go quick. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.